Greetings, News Plus Notes Reader. We're back here in the S&S Sansi booth, and we're actually sitting, this is going to be the train for the new Merlins Mayhem roller coaster?
That's what they're calling it, Merlins Mayhem, a Dutch Wonderland. My name's Joe Draves, and I am a Ride Centerline employee. I've known Alan Schilke and worked with him for a couple of years in the past, and then I worked with Great Coasters International for the better part of a decade. In the last 4 years, I've become Alan's kind of apprentice, if you would like to call it that. But no, Alan and I work and we do the physics for coasters, structural concept layouts. So I work pretty much primarily with S&S and Chance Rides, and Alan continues his heavy involvement with Rocky Mountain Construction.
Okay, so based on the fact then, you would be a cool engineer, both as a Purdue graduate and you design rides for people.
I guess you could say that.
Well, to most of us, that's cool. You know, somebody who designs, say, an easy opening door, well, that's not so cool. So what neat things did you design in the ride plan for Merlins Mayhem?
There was a lot of creative input from Dutch Wonderland and some of their managing team. It's going to be located where their old auto scooters ride used to be. And on this site, there's a chairlift that goes across it. There's a pond, and the auto scooters used to go underneath the railroad track. So the park wanted the ride to go over the chairlift, under the chairlift, have a lake turn over the water so they could play with some water effects. And then they wanted a finale drop that goes underneath of the train track through a trench. So it's the ride's going to start off. It has a reversing S-curve drop that it peaks out at almost 90-degree bank as it goes over top of the chairlift, and then it's going to reverse direction and plane out over the lake.
So this will be a little bit more intense than your little kiddie ride. It's more of a family type ride.
It's definitely more of a family thrill ride, but it's not. It's pretty mild, I guess, G-force wise. It's more about the speed and the high average speed this is going to have. I mean, we do touch 3 Gs at a few points, but it's at Dutch Wonderland, which is it's a family park, and this is by far their biggest attraction in the park. It's the biggest thing they've ever built, but it's also home to CCI's very first roller coaster. I think they call it the Kingdom Coaster now. It was the Sky Princess, and they have something for everybody. As the kids get to be maybe 10 or older, they didn't. It's not that they didn't have a thrill piece, but everything there was for smaller kids, and so this ride can accommodate a 39-inch child, which is a 3-year-old. So
that's a very small child.
It's a very small child, and so I didn't want to make it too aggressive.
Right. Well, and if it will accommodate that very small child, it can also accommodate grandma.
It can.
Because everybody wants their grandparents to come to the park with them, because they'll buy them ice cream where their parents won't.
This is true. This is true.
So when you design this, you talk about an S-curve drop.
Yeah.
Is that over the water, or is that over the train track?
So the ride starts out, the lift hill runs parallel with the chairlift. And I didn't want to just have another spiral, single curve drop. I wanted to have a piece of flare anchor the whole ride, and first drops are all full of flare. And so it basically, you curve away from the chairlift, and then it winds up to be perpendicular to the chairs. So you turn to the right, and then it curves back left to cross over the chairs at a perpendicular angle. But it's really high banked, way high up in the air, instead of most high banks happen You know, they happen at peaks of hills, but we've made the first drop have that extra high banking in the middle of the drop.
So the ride is really going to start off with a bang.
Absolutely.
And then you already talked about the thrilling finish. So this sounds like a really well put together attraction, and it's going to be open in, it's going to be open in spring or summer.
Honestly, I think they're shooting for opening day of my involvement really for the S&S products is I do the track center line and the structural concept, and then I hand it back to S&S, and they have a team of project managers and engineers and detailers and designers because this is a brand new train. They've never done one before, and so there's a lot of man hours required to put something like this together.
Oh yeah, well, it looks great. It sounds exciting. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us.
Scott, absolutely. Have a good show.